Good morning. So I'm all packed and ready to go, and it's the start of another beautiful day. It rained for most of the night. Again, the tent was perfectly dry inside, so no worries. But I've just spent an extra half an hour, 3/4 of an hour this morning just making sure the ground sheet's nice and dry and the outside's dry before I packed it away. So as a consequence, it's about 9:30, 10:15 and time to hit the road. Got 80 kilometre day, and today I'm going to be finishing in a guest house literally in the middle of nowhere. I will make a note of it later on in the video so that you guys know. This camping cost me €15.60, which makes it the most expensive camping so far, and that's probably something to keep in mind. Northern Europe is obviously going to be a lot more expensive than when I was in the Balkans region. So I will give you some videos from the road as usual, and some insightful commentary and all that sort of good stuff. Speak to you in a bit. Cheers. So today was quite a strange day in a way. I was expecting an easy-ish day of about 82, 88 kilometres. And although there might have been 1,000 metres total ascent throughout the day, it was nothing that's, beyond my capabilities. But I don't know, for some reason today it just felt a bit of a hard slog, and I've been trying to think why, and I'm doing this commentary the following morning. So I think one of the reasons is, as you saw, that I really didn't have a choice of what food I could eat. I just ate what was there. So that's not the right food to be putting in my system, obviously. And even though I was hydrated, if the body's not fueled properly, it's not going to perform as well. So perhaps that was a contributing factor. I think also I'm just looking forward to getting to Bratislava to meet the missus. So maybe I'm concentrating on that more than the actual process of cycling. And even though there was some beautiful countryside, I don't know, for some reason I found some of it just uninspiring, and it would just seem a bit of a slog. And so another reason is the manner of the hills. So in the big day that I did, which was 1,600 metres total ascent, most of that was early on in the morning, and it was continuously uphill. So while it seems challenging, it's actually easier because you're just getting it out the way early on. So if you get it out the way in the first 2 or 3 hours, the next 3 or 4 hours cycling are either going to be flat or downhill, no worries. Today though, it was constantly rolling. And so you do 10 kilometres flat, and then you have a big ascent, and it would just continue like that. And the nature of the ascents was also very steep, so especially towards the end I was going up some seriously steep hills and mountains, and even if it was just for short periods, if it was just for 250 metres, it still takes its toll on your body, especially after a while. So I was heading towards a guest house in a place called Rosenbrunn in Bromberg. So Bromberg you can't even find on a map, and Rosenbrunn, when I asked people around Bromberg where it was, they said, it's kind of through this forest on this dirt track and around the corner, and yeah, so that was a bit of fun trying to find it. And again, there was like plenty of steep tracks and on these dirt tracks as well to try and find the place. And when I eventually arrived, it's got a bit of a weird vibe. It's like, I don't know, I think maybe I'm the only person under the age of 50, so, which is great, it makes me feel young for a change. But yeah, it's a bit of a weird place now I'm here, but job's done in the end. So I'm doing this commentary in the morning, and my legs feel a little bit tired as I'm about to head out and make the start of the next video for you guys. Yeah, I've got 2 days to go till I get to Bratislava. So this day's cycling was okay, and it was on some of these quiet country roads, which I like Austria for. So that's great, it keeps me away from the traffic. But yeah, in a way, a bit of an uninspiring day. I guess after 37 days of cycling, you've got to have one that doesn't stand out, and this one doesn't. Or maybe it stands out because it doesn't stand out. Does that make any sense? I think I'll stop talking now and go and have some breakfast. Thank you very much for watching, guys. See you later. Cheers for now. Good morning everyone, how's it going? So I'm packed and ready to go again, and it's going to be a short day today of about 60 kilometres, all downhill according to the GPS. I'm at about 550 metres now, and I finish up at about 200 metres. There's not one hill in the way, and the GPS looks like that, literally. But then again, we both know by now the GPS is not all that good, don't we? So what else to say? This place I'm staying in, it's kind of, like I said yesterday, it's got a weird vibe. It's like, it's not an old people's home, but it's where people come when they're over 70. And I don't know if they come here for a week, for a couple of weeks, if it's like a convalescent home or what's going on. Even the woman that runs it has got to be like late 60s, easily late 60s. I don't know, if I was a sort of person that was deep and meaningful, I'd probably contemplate, the meaning of life, the frailty of human existence, what happens as we get older, It's a good job I'm not like that. So I'm going to hit the road and then start cycling and give you some videos and speak to you later. Cheers for now. Well, bloody hell, the GPS was actually right. It was mainly all downhill. Well, it had to be right at one point, didn't it? So I started off going downhill, and as I was going through the forest, I kept thinking to myself, I hope I've not left my passport behind. So I was checking like my wallet, my passport. There's no way I wanted to cycle back up that hill again, because this downhill was really nice. And going through this like little wooded area, then it broke onto a like a small open field, which would have been ideal for wild camping if I'd known it was there. But yeah, this little area was very nice. So I was just making my way through the forest track just to get back onto the main road so that I could head to the final destination of the day, which is, I believe it's pronounced Oggau. It's O-G-G-A-U. So perhaps a German speaking person can let me know my pronunciation on that one. I'm not very good on pronouncing place names. So what is there to say about the day's cycling then? Yeah, as I said, mainly downhill. There was a bit of a headwind at one point, which was a bit irritating, but then later on I just turned a corner and then it turned into a tailwind and pushed me along. So really I couldn't have asked for a better day's cycling, especially as the previous one was a little bit tough. So anything else to talk about on this little cycle tour of the day really? I drafted a little bit of the tractor, so you'll see the clip in a bit. So what happens is, if you've never cycled before, if you've got a tractor or a car in front of you and it's going at a speed that you can just about keep up with, it breaks the air in front of you, which means that you really don't need to turn the pedals. So the tractor that I followed was going at about 15 or 16 kilometers an hour, which isn't exactly fast, but if you've got to put no energy into following it, here's a tractor, if you've got to put no energy into following it and literally just turn the pedals once every 10-20 seconds, it's great to follow. So yeah, I sat behind this guy for, I think it was about 2 or 3 kilometres. So I don't know where he was going. His field seemed to be a long way away from where he kept his tractor. But yeah, that was very nice. And so passing through little suburban areas, little villages. Yeah, Austria's very nice. Perhaps also the weather being a bit clearer makes a bit of a difference on the day. And then I stopped off to have a sandwich. And this is a feature of Austria. Every now and again there's like these little park benches just set on the side of the road and in little clearings, which is very nice for somebody on a bicycle tour to sit down and have something to eat. So as I cycled down to my destination, I passed through a city. Now I put this picture on Instagram and Facebook, and I said, name that place, name the building and name the place. And I'm going to do it in this video. Leave a comment below, name the building, name the place. See if you can. And then I followed through this little pedestrian area. It reminded me a little bit of Abington Street in Northampton, but with slightly more style. We have this street in Northampton called Abington Street, obviously, which was pedestrianised, but I think they then unpedestrianised it recently, so I'm not too sure of the logic behind that. Anyway, that reminded me of that. And then I cycled through some fields where there were these little vineyards seemingly tucked away in between fields of grass, which is quite cool. And again, the wind was pushing me along quite nicely here. So the destination for the end of the evening was a campsite, and I booked into the campsite for 2 nights, and yeah, basically just to chill out and take it easy. And then I head to Bratislava on Thursday, meet the missus, and all's good. So thank you very much for watching the video, and I will speak to you later. Cheers for now. Morning guys, how's it going? So I took a day off yesterday in the campground, didn't really do anything because it rained for most of the morning, so I spent most of the time in the tents, which was awesome, but at least I got some work done on the computer and stuff like that. So now I'm heading to Bratislava, and it's just a 60-kilometre cycle ride, and once I'm there, I'm going to spend some time off the bike. So I've got 10 days off the bike, going to spend 5 days in Bratislava with the missus, and maybe we'll do a day trip to Vienna, and then we're going to Budapest for 5 days as well, and then I go back to Bratislava, pick the bike up and carry on cycling. So this may be my last vlog for a while about cycling, but you'll probably see one about Bratislava and Budapest, and I don't know, maybe some thoughts that I have as the week goes by. So I will speak to you later and give you some videos now from the road. Cheers for now. So the campsite that I was leaving was based in Oggau, and I'm going to apologise now for my pronunciation of place names, which is shocking, I know. And Oggau is right by a lake which is called Neusiedl. If there is a German speaker, please, please, please let me know how to pronounce these right. Do it like in an answer back video or something. Anyhow, so it's by a lake, and this area is very, very flat. So it's great when it's flat, obviously, because there's no hills to go up, but when the wind blows across, ooh, that can be a bit of a pain, can't it? So some of the way it was crosswind, some of the way it was a tailwind. And a little bit later on in the video I'll show you some images of trees and the grass all bent over backwards because the wind was that strong. But to start off with, the cycle ride was nice and relaxed. That was me chilling there. Cool dude with his shades on and his travel blogger's grease hat. Yeah, cool. And it was nice to get off the road and hit some of the cycle paths and the quiet country lanes. In Austria, they tend to have farm tracks doubling as bicycle lanes, and so my GPS would send me off through a field on a bicycle lane, and it would keep me well out of the way of the traffic, which is great. You know, I really appreciate that. And it's something I remember from my previous bicycle tour of cycling from England to Cape Town. And this area is obviously a wine growing or wine making area because there's plenty of grapes growing, and there's a sign of civilization there. Did you see the McDonald's sign? Yeah, you know you've reached civilization when that happens. So I'm cycling on towards Bratislava, and as you can probably tell from the grass on the right hand side there, the wind is starting to pick up a little bit, but in a way it's good because it's blowing me along, so I'm not really using too much energy. But it was a bit deceptive today because the heat was quite strong. Well, when I say strong, it was not the same as it was in Greece, but it was, 27 degrees today, and it actually makes you a little bit more dehydrated than you realise. And so although it didn't feel like I was sweating too much, I was actually becoming a little bit dehydrated, so I had to make a conscious effort to take on board a lot of water as I could. And here's so this grass here, that can show you how the wind is really blowing, obviously, and it was kind of swirling around at this point, which was great. And this is a great thing, you can just see there that there were some wind turbines. Now I think wind turbines are a marvellous invention. Now some people, for whatever reason, don't like them. We have something in the UK called a NIMBY, which is not in my backyard, and people call them bloody awful to look at. Of course they're not, they're wonderful to look at. I mean, there's nothing more majestic than seeing wind turbines creating energy, not polluting the atmosphere. I mean, really? Why would anyone not want this? Why would we want to pump a load of crap into the atmosphere to produce electricity when we can get it free from nature? All you have is the initial investment of the wind turbine and you're done. I mean, and it looks great, doesn't it? Look, yeah, they look a little bit menacing perhaps, but it's a wonderful invention. I love cycling through here. It was a real highlight of my day seeing this wind farm operating. And I think, it should be, more countries should have it. In the UK we should have it. In Greece they should have more, definitely. But obviously right here it was positioned perfectly because you can see what the wind's doing to these trees. So they obviously know the wind's going to blow across here a little bit. So this might be a note to make for other people if you're going to cycle through that region anyway. And here we go, entering into Slovakia, heading towards Bratislava, and there was absolutely no guard, there was no border control, there was just a couple of park benches, and that was it. And I was into another new country, although I have cycled through Slovakia before. So the cycle ride into the centre was a little bit mad. The GPS led me off onto some trails, then I had to get onto a main road, but I got into the centre eventually. So I'm staying here for 5 nights, as I mentioned, and the missus is flying out, and I've got to go and pick her up from the train station very shortly. So we're going to stay here, going to see some sights. So I'm going to take it easy off the bike, and I'll make some more videos of Bratislava, Vienna if we visit Vienna, and Budapest when we go to Budapest. But until then, take it easy guys, thanks very much for watching, and if you like the video, please thumbs up, and of course subscribe to the channel for more good stuff. Thanks a lot, speak to you later. Cheers for now.